Greetings, one and all. Welcome to yet another episode of Progotron Magee, where I and other producers put together what we feel to be the most interesting and, nay, perhaps may I say, the finest examples of progressive music that we each individually can identify and bring that to you for your listening enjoyment. The feedback I've been getting from what I've been doing has been quite positive. It encourages me to keep going, but truthfully, between you and me and the gatepost, I would do it. Anyway, I have found that it has fit into my schedule in such a way that to meet the guidelines of putting these shows together, and it's 2 hours of mostly prog music that I do not repeat myself through 23 episodes, it forces me to sit down and listen and explore and research. And you know what? Think of me as a happy little puppy because I'm not sure that I would be able, because of the demands of life, etc., to do this if I didn't feel the obligation to provide the shows. Yeah, essentially, my reward is a lifestyle practice that I likely would not be doing unless I was doing these shows. So there you go. Thank you very much for listening, and enough of you for listening that Radio Gordo keeps me around. So without further ado, let's find out what I have found over the last month. I have at least 20, I could count them, but there are at least 20 of new, at least new to me, heretofore, not discovered by me, prog music that is amazing, but also leavened with a lot of what I consider to be classic prog. And I would think that there isn't anybody that could deny their belonging to the prog genre. They might not like it or everything else, but yeah, there's just that sound to progressive music that we like. And I might take a segue or two somewhere else just because I can. And it came up and I went, oh, that's really good music. So I'm going to play it for you. So let's just get right into this. For your first listen, I went to Quebec to a group formed in Quebec in 2009 called Huis, Huis. Which I believe, if my French is not completely disappeared, means home doors. This is from their 26th studio album, Neither in Heaven, or, in case you're from that side of the world, Neither in Heaven. And this song is called, good Lord, what is it called? Ah, right, of course. Yeah, here's my notes on this. This is crazy. This is prog as a comfort blanket, cuddly and warming, keeping the listener safe from the rest of the world. But just when there is the faint possibility of it turning into something twee with too much sugar, then they open up and remind us that whatever style of music they are playing, at heart, they are a rock band. So now, just listen to this, the instrumental Insane, to get an idea of what I mean. Ah, Hui, Quebec group, and the song was Insane from their Neither in Heaven album. So I generally don't get musical themes going on in my shows very often. In fact, I would think at the core of my character, I'm about change and about that was fun. Let's do something else. So I'm going to follow that. I'm going to go back to 1972. The studio album is called Trilogy, and this is the third album by Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and maybe some of the best heavy prog before there was even such a thing. This is Living Sin, and I'm Bobby McGee.
Stand up or will you freeze? That savage woman make you pleased? Turn your inside outside in.
Oh man, that's fun. I still love that. We're 40 years later. Wonderful stuff. Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Living Sin from Trilogy. At the risk of going into a theme motivation, despite my protestations to the opposite earlier in the show, and we're only like 10 minutes in, of course, when I'm looking at Emerson, Lake and Palmer and that, the great Googly Moogly always spills off alternative information that is sometimes tangentially related to the information being researched. And that happened in this case. In 2013, there was a tribute album put out, and it's called The Many Faces of Pink Floyd. And throughout it, it's a 2 CD set. Some of the most accomplished musicians in the world got together in different combinations to pay tribute to Pink Floyd songs. And yes, Keith Emerson was involved. And he hooked up with, of all people, Dweezil Zappa, son of Frank. And they put together a a tribute, a rendition of Pink Floyd's Run Like Hell. It's quite nice. Enjoy. You Better Run from the Many Faces of Pink Floyd, featuring Dweezil, Zappa, and Keith Emerson. Be warned, there's some other combinations on this album that I need to explore, and I will do so in future shows. That was fun. We got to stay on that. In 1975, Electric Light Orchestra, who broke all kinds of boundaries of music using, massive amounts of cellos and violins and sometimes full orchestras. At least to my ear, I was very delighted. I thought it was sophisticated and light, and their lyrics haunting and often laser accurate. So for your enjoyment of Electric Light Orchestra, which one of these did I pick? Oh, yes. In 1975, they released the studio album Face the Music, and this is the opening cut from that album, Fire on High. the album Face the Music, ELO. Okay, so from ELO, I segued and I was looking at some of the stuff that Moody Blues has done that I'm definitely going to be playing, just not for you today. And one thing led to another, and I got back to a fella I'd heard of not all that long ago, by the name of David Manessian. And so I'm going to play you a cut from his 2020 album, The Sound of Dreams. And this is the third movement of The Sound of Dreams, featuring Steve Hackett from Yes. I dug into David's background, and he's a filmmaker. But because he's got associated with Camel, did a bunch of their videos, and worked for, second unit directing with Martin Landau. What the heck was the name of that thing? Oh, this is real. I could look it up, but no, I'm going to reach into my gray matter and try to come up with the name of the movie. So Far From Home. Look at me go. There was somebody. Oh yeah, Chris Christopherson was in that as well. All of this is a roundabout way of saying, if I wasn't doing this show, I unlikely would have come across this. And when you hear it, you'll agree with me. That would have been an awful shame. You're listening to Progotron with me, Bobby Magee, right here on RadioGordo.net. That was David Manessian featuring Steve Hackett from the 2020 album, The Sound of Dreams. And that I played for you was the third movement. From there, I think we'll just go back a couple of years 4 years actually, to an album put out by Blind Ego in 2016 called Liquid. It's the brainchild of Karl-Heinz Wallner, for those who don't know that name. He's from RPWL, a mainstay of progressive music. And again, unlikely I would have found this had I not been researching RPWL. And played this one. It's excellent. It's really excellent. So I think I'm going to probably do a RPWL cut later in the show, and I will mention this connection again. This is Blind Ego, and the song is What If?
As I stand in the moonlight shine,
wind brings unseen pictures with violence and pain. The souls might have cried in silence, but never seen. Put myself
was Blind Ego from the 2016 album Liquid. What If? Didn't take me long when I was looking at RPWL to find this, and several other things have split off and didn't document and everything else. In any case, I ended up back on an album, La Muerta, that I played a cut from, I think, in Prog 21, if I'm not mistaken, called Even Though the Stars Don't Shine. It was quite good, and I got some good feedback on that from regular listeners. And I've started to explore that album a little bit, and there are other better songs on it, much to my delight. One of which I'm going to share with you right now. So this is Subsignal from their 2018 album La Muerta. And sometimes English as my first language can be a challenge. Truly a handicap when one is working in radio. Every able hand. You're listening to Bobby Magee on Progotron 23 right here on RadioGordo.net. was Every Able Hand from Subsignals to 2018 La Muerta. I think the time has come now to play, as promised, a cut from RPWL. Funnily enough, the track that I was listening to over the last week or so that was good enough to pass muster and become part of this presentation. So I took a look, and I realized that this album has surfaced no less than twice in Progotron 12, in Progotron 3, and very soon in Progotron 24. So, gotta like all of that. However, different track every time, because I live by my motto, life is too short to listen to the same song over and over again. Have somebody, like me, your gracious host, do it for you and cherry pick out of that and give you new stuff. And that's what I'm going to do. So this is RPWL from their 2012 album, Beyond Man and Time. This is the title track, Beyond Man and Time.
Falling apart. I saw disgust
RPWL. Yes, I have played them fairly often. That'd be interesting. I think at some point in the future, I'll take the time and find out what group is it that I've played the most often. Uh, that would be fun, I think, but not today. So that was Beyond Man in Time from their 2012 album of the same name. And now I would like to take you to this is a fellow that has been consistently good. And if you love subtle, folkier, psychedelic side of prog rock with a strong emphasis on melodic songwriting, this fella is it. This music has a unique magic that doesn't come around all that often. This is Xavier Fideau. Don't let the name fool you. He was born in New York in 1963. This is from a 28 CD set, 2 CD set called Infernal, released, as I said, in 2018. And I'm going to take the 8th cut off the first CD and play it for your listening pleasure. This is Sourdough from Xavier Fideau. I hope you're having as much fun listening to these tunes as I am playing them for you. Okay. That was Xavier Fideau from the 2018 2 CD set called Infernal, and the cut was called Sourdough. Very melodic indeed. I think we'll stay in that vein, kind of a twofer that's not a twofer. In 1985, Galahad was formed, and they too produce a very melodic type of prog music that in large doses, I confess I can't take, but in specially selected slices, very delightful indeed. So from their 2002 album called Year Zero, this is The Charlotte Suite. You're listening to Progotron 23 with me, Bobby Magee, right here on RadioGordo.net. I have to admit, I'm getting into this. That was Galahad and the Charlotte Suite from Year Zero. I'm going to flip down to Australia now with you folk to a group that was formed in, I should have wrote that down, 1996. They did an studio album in 2012 called Covered Mirror. Volume 1, Smooth as Silk. And I came across this just because I caught some news. Just this year, this group Unitopia has been joined by Chester Thompson, a percussionist of some renown. And if you don't know the name, he has worked with Genesis and Phil Collins and is a well-established and driving rhythm section all unto himself. And I understand he has brought some real interesting stuff. So I look forward to their releases in the future. However, to whet your appetite, this is a fascinating piece from Unitopia called Man of Colors from that 2012 album, Covered Mirror. You're listening to me, Bobby McGee. That's right. On Progotron 23, right here, RadioGordo.net.
You know those art galleries on Fifth Avenue? The prices they charge. I saw one little picture that cost $50,000. They call it a Cézanne.
Cézanne. Oh, he was a great French painter. I like to own that painting.
You would? Oh, $50,000.
There's a noise upstairs in the attic. It's the shuffle of worn-out shoes and the scent of the oil and the brushes drifts down like a pale perfume. And he says, I am a man, a simple man, a man of colors, and I can see through the years of a man of colors. And the old man rubs his failing eyes and takes a moment to watch the view from a window nobody knows is there. He can see the empty street below, and he says, I am a man, a simple man, a man of colors, and I can see through the years of a man of colors. He says I keep my life in this paint box. I keep your face in these picture frames. And when I speak to this faded canvas, it tells me I have no need for words anyway. And he says I am a man, a simple man, a man of colors, and I can see through the years of a man of colors. And
Unitopia and Man of Colors. That is very much the kind of music that just attracts my soul. It's big, it's layered, the lyrics cause emotional change. One of the criteria, as I've mentioned in previous shows, that I believe needs to be there for the subject to constitute art. Emotional change is a key element of art, I think. Loss of awareness of time for even a short period of time is also an important criteria. And then both of those applied to Man of Colors. I'm going to play something else for you right along that same vein, but this is from one of my favorite bands, Flying Colors, mainly because their bassist, Dave LaRue, just makes my heart and my toes tap when he does his thing. And Steve Morse, of course, is known throughout Prog, has been a major force for many years. So for your enjoyment, I'm going to give you from their 2019 single, More. This is Flying Colors.
Will you die from your suffering? You were born into lies deep as rain. There's a kiss undespised, and your love is a wish. Let it fly.
Flying Colors, yes. You know, they may well be a candidate for a band that I've played the most of the course of the last 20 or so shows that I've done. Dave LaRue, his bass style appeals to me, tickles my fancy. Anyway, that was their 2019 single, More. I'm going to go somewhere else, not so much in time, but as in geography. I'm going to go to the Netherlands, to a group called Vuur. V-U-U-R is the spelling of that. And in 2017, they released a studio album called In the Moment We Are Free, Cities. And that interesting affection, Cities, well, here, these are the opening songs on the album. My Champion, Berlin. Time, Rotterdam. The Martyr and the Saint, Beirut. The fourth one is The Fire, San Francisco. The fifth is Freedom, Rio. And the sixth song, which is the one I'm going to play for you, is Days Go By, London.
We'll be right back.
Nice. Flying Colors. More. Next up, I've got, this is an interesting, I guess it's a project, unless you're in British colonies, and then it's a project. But the artist is called Chroma Key. And I guess I came upon this mainly through Kevin Moore. It's his brainchild. And Kevin Moore I found from Dream Theater, yet another band that gets frequent mention on the show. This is from his very first album. He's the keyboard player, check. This is one of the most interesting of his works. Kevin is maybe known more for his albums with Dream Theater. I think 4 or 5 of them at least. He's also worked with Fate's Warning. I guess the Chroma Key sound can best be described like a intimate and melancholic space rock, it says here. That's what you feel when you hear his music. This is from the album, his first album, Dead Air for Radios. And the song is called Even the Waves. This is Progotron, and I'm Bobby Magee.
Stay where you are, not too far.
Well, that was Chroma Key. The song was Even the Waves. Fun. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it indeed. This next song I've picked for your listening pleasure. I guess I can look. I guess I will look. I'm doing this live on television. I'm diving into the Prog archives and looking for Mother Mother. And they're not there. So I guess that officially means they're not Prog. Nah, Prog is in the ear of the beholder. This is a group from my own backyard right here in the Southern Gulf Islands, based out of Vancouver and showing as indie rock band. And I suspect they are. But boy, oh boy, there is lots of progressive influence on their stuff. And I've heard them live, and they're great. Excellent musicians with their own unique sound, doing their own material. So this is Mother Mother from their 2014 album, Very Good Bad Things. And this is Reaper Man.
Every good thing, I kill it dead. Oh yeah, I'm a hooligan, out in the street making a mess. Fuck yeah, I'm a deviant. When I go to the store, I go undressed. Oh yeah, I'm a sexiness. Go on the date just to get the dress off. How'd I ever get so off my rocks? How'd I ever get so lost? Everybody out there on the job, but not me. Oh, but not me. Oh yeah, I'm an ugly mess. Not in the face, but in the head. I'm thinking out what's best not said, but I say it anyway, then I say it again. They took a little look at my brain, they come to find all inside. They took a little look at my heart, they found a prince living behind bars. How'd I ever get so off my rocks? How'd I ever get so lost? Everybody out there on the job, but not me, oh no. How'd I ever get so indiscreet? How'd I ever get so freaky? Everybody out there on a leash, but not me.
You'll have to forgive me. I just really enjoyed hearing that, and then I listened to it a couple more times. I said, that's worthy of Progotron. So there it was. I hope you enjoyed it. Mother, Mother, and Reaper Man. I'm going to take you somewhere different not only in location, i.e. out of Scotland, but back in time, 20 odd years, to the year 1995, when an album came out called Roots to Branches. This is the title track to that album, Roots to Branches. Roots to Branches. Refer to my earlier comment on English as a first language. This is Jethro Tull and Roots to Branches on Progotron here on RadioGordo.net.
Get written, words get twisted, old meanings move in the drift of time. Lift the flickering torches, see candle shadows change the features of the faces cut in unmoving stone. Bad mouth on a prayer day, hope no one's listening. Roots down in the wet clay, branches glistening. True disciples carrying that message to color just a little with a personal touch. Homespun fancy weavers, naked half-believers, crusades and creeds descend like fiery flakes of snow. Bad mouth on a prayer day, hope no one's listening. Roots down in the wet clay, branches glistening. Roots to branches, roots to branches, roots to branches. Wet and windy priest holes, grand and vast cathedrals, high on lofty minarets or in the temples of doom. I hope the old man's got his face on, he'd better be some quick change artist. Suffer little children to make their minds up soon. Bad mouth on a prayer day, hope no one's listening. Roots down in the wet clay, branches glistening. Roots to branches, roots to branches, roots to branches.
the purveyors of fine float rock, Jethro Tull. I, of course, like so many people of my generation, discovered Jethro Tull on a quaint little song called Aqualung. And that was back before the interwebby thing, folks. That was way back when. This particular song's not so. It's about 10 years old. It's from, 20 years old. 1995, Roots to Branches, and that was the title track. Okay. Another band that has had frequent mention on Progotron, or at least my version of the show, is Spock's Beard, formed in the early 90s in California, and it's basically a pre-Neil Morse, post-Neil Morse evolution. Both sides of that divide are excellent. For this one, post-Neil Morse, is from 2013's Brief Nocturnes and Dreamless Sleep. And the cut is called Submerged.
From
All right. Fun city, that. Spock's Beard. And the song was called Submerged. I have listened to, I don't know what to call it, except perhaps contemporary. Yeah. I've been listening to contemporary music for a long time. For a very long time, actually. For 5 decades, as it were. One thing I have found is there's no particular time period that I find uberly more attractive than some other time period. But I am noticing a rhythm of popularity, and I measure popularity by the number of bands contributing to the progressive bandwidth, if you will. It has, of course, been steadily growing since, the late 60s, early 70s. And has had some brief periods, notably the 1970s and the 2010s, where there was an explosion of really good music. But I'm finding the time in between was a target-rich environment as well. And there, I've said that, got it out of my chest. Thank you very much for listening. Next up, I've got Sail Away from Deep Purple from their 1973 album, Burn.
Future
Deep Purple, Sail Away, from their 1973 album Burn. My next band here needs no introduction, but I'm going to give you one anyway. This is the solo studio project from the bass guitarist and vocalist from Riverside. His name is Marius Duda. He pops up regularly on my show. He, like Dave LaRue, does something with those bass guitars and his uber clean vocals that appeals to me. And I got to feel that if it appeals to me, it'll probably appeal to a broad range of other progressive music loving individuals. So, yeah, there you go. Not much more to say that. From the 2018 album Under the Fragmented Sky, this is Lunatic Soul and Untamed.
So it's done, you've won the fight. War is over, you can stop. Don't mind them, they don't deserve. They'll keep snarling, nursing hate. Welcome back, you're wide awake. Nightmares over, no more pain. You took the string up to the night. There's a way to make it right, and it's going to be the best story of your life. Maybe you don't want to believe that you have your chance now. Inner dreads remain unchained. Maybe you have just gotten used to your constant waiting for another tidal wave. But your war is finally done and you have to deal with that. Oh. So it's done, you won the fight. War is over, you can stop. Took the string up to the night. There's a way to make it right, and it's going to be the best story of your life. And it's going to be the best story of your life. And it's going to be the best story of your life.
Lunatic Soul and Untamed. As promised a couple hours ago, I started you off with a fairly recent discovery by me, a Huis, a Quebec-based prog, neo-prog, I guess, would be the label if we have to put a label on them. And I suggested that they had a lot of good music and I might end off with that. So I'm going to do that very thing. This is Huis from their 2019 album, Abandoned. And the song is called Solilude. That's solitude without the T. Solilude. I hope you have a marvelous month. I do encourage you to come back and listen to the other programmers here on Progotron, and I hope I gave you something to think about, whether it's revisiting and re-experiencing an old artist that you heard way back in the day, or gave you a lead to and enough information for you to dive into a new group that you find appealing. My name is Bobby Magee. I run Progotron Magee, and this is being broadcast on the radiogordo.net. So for this closeout, this is Huis from the 2019 album Abandoned and Solilude. Ciao, baby.